In my time at Thiel, I've learned much from this man of integrity, of stature, and of great gifts generously shared with Thiel College for more than 50 years. When David laughs, we smile. And his laughter, like his legacy to this institution, cannot and will not ever be duplicated. Today's a mix of emotions, of recognition and appreciation for one of those rare individuals who comes along only once in a lifetime. He's a link to our rich history and a bridge to our promising future. Today, Thiel College considers itself blessed to have enjoyed the richness of our beloved Professor David Miller, the Norman P. Mortensen Professor of Economics and Business Administration, who joined the Thiel College faculty as a lecturer in 1963 and now holds a singular distinction as the longest-serving tenured faculty in the 150-year history of the college. Now, I think we can acknowledge that Professor Miller has a unique vocal delivery. And I'd be willing to wager that there are a few in this room who have embarked upon their own David Miller impersonation. In fact, I can attest to the abilities of Professor Witowski and our esteemed trustee colleague, Mike Zawoski, to mimic his distinctive style. But I'm reminded of the poet laureate, Maya Angelou, who once said, "I've learned that people forget what you said or how you said it, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Professor Miller's legacy extends well beyond his communication style and his infectious laughter. I'd be hard-pressed to find an individual in this room who did not have their own story about how David Miller made them feel, and I'd like to share mine. It's August 18th, 2009. The longest day in my life. I didn't sleep a wink the night before, and I didn't go to bed until after midnight that particular day. See, when I had the privilege to join Thiel College as a first-time president, Thiel College was emerging from one of the most precarious times in its history. In my first address to our 300-plus employees, I had the privilege of announcing an austerity program of sorts, cost reductions, hiring freezes, modifications to employees' retirement contributions, just to name a few. Not exactly what I would call endearing myself to the team. Not only was I worried about the 300 employees, at that time we had about 900 students, but I was worried about my two children at home that had just made a transfer to this community, my wife, and what this might mean for my career and our future. It was a difficult message to deliver, and one that was as you would expect. It was met with deafening silence. Then David Miller, not rehearsed, stood up and spoke. This quiet leader, this respected and courageous Thiel College advocate, lent his support to someone who truly needed it at a pivotal moment. I will never forget the applause that he led in solidarity of a new president, which ultimately led to a standing ovation. Take away somebody's retirement, a standing ovation. Who could command that? What began as one of the most difficult days in my professional career ended in the affirmation that Thiel College was not only strong enough to survive, but we would thrive. And Thiel College then launched on an ambitious plan founded in the belief that if David Miller had faith in our future, we as a community ought to believe in ourselves too. Professor Miller, I haven't said so lately, but I remain ever grateful for your support that day. It's an understatement to suggest that Professor Miller's dedication to teaching excellence, academic achievement, and career preparation is unmatched and unparalleled, and his profound impact on five decades of Thiel College students and his relentless commitment to imparting the values espoused by this institution have been immeasurable. In dedicating his life passion to thousands of students, I've heard him described as a pillar, an icon, an institution unto his own right, and irreplaceable. There is no other at this time who has given so much. On this eve of our 140th commencement exercise, I can't help but reflect upon the fact that Thiel College stands a better place because of your investment in us. On the crust of this campus lawn we all know and love so well, Thiel College stands strong and true today because of giants like you, David Miller, in whose shadows we walk and on whose shoulders we stand. The glow of our beloved Thiel College has held steady no matter what storms we have weathered, due in large part to the grace, dedication, and purposefulness of special individuals like David Miller. Professor Miller, I'm hopeful that in the faces of those gathered in your honor at our luncheon today, the faces of your friends and colleagues, you see some small part of yourself and the indelible mark that you have in profound ways left upon each of us. You've touched us all, and your life has been inextricably interwoven among us and between us, and in our relationships with others. In conclusion, Professor Miller, you've done your part. And as I walked across campus today, I reflected upon the many young men and women of the past 50 years whose lives have been touched by you. Young men and women who have become successful in their own right, strong citizens, and members of their committees, courtesy of Professor David Miller. You did it. You didn't just mark your time here. You made a difference. You made Thiel stronger. You made countless students smarter and more successful. You did it, and we're all better for you. All in all, not bad at all. On behalf of everyone gathered here today in your honor, I'd like to close with some very well-intended, yet seemingly inadequate sentiments that attempt to convey how very much you mean to all of us here at Thiel College. It's a poem called What Constitutes Success by Bessie Anderson Stanley. He has achieved success who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much, who has gained the respect of intelligent people and the affections of children, who has filled his niche and accomplished his task, who has left the world better than he found it, who has always looked for the best in others and given them the best he had, whose life is inspiration. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have been successful. David, may God hold you in the palm of his hand, just as you so gently cared for Thiel College. We will look forward to sharing many successes with you in the coming years as a result of the gifts you've bestowed on this institution. Thank you, Professor Miller. And now may I ask for a standing ovation in his honor. It's now my pleasure to ask Dr. Barry Stamm, Vice Chairman of the Board, class of 1970, to come forward and say a few words. And as he's coming, you know, Barry and Dave share a couple similarities. Both pilots, both entrepreneurial, pretty tenacious, well, they set their mind out for something. But I join them in one other club. And that is as an individual who has married very well. There's several of the others in this room that have done as well, but you know, if you all know Ruth, she's a full partner in this enterprise. I'm not a fraction of the individual I am without my lovely wife Annette. But Carol Jagerstam, class of 71, actually was a student of Dave's. And I'll let Barry tell you about whose idea it really was to start this enterprise of creating this endowed chair.